All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about a really critical moment in any teaching journey, whether that's a semester, a training program, or even a long project. It's that midpoint. You know, that moment when all the initial excitement has kind of settled down and the long haul is just staring you right in the face.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That first burst of energy is gone. The novelty's worn off, not just for you, but for your learners too. And you start to feel this quiet hum of fatigue. The real weight of the work ahead starts to sink in. It happens to everyone, and it's a huge turning point.
We're going to call this the Week 4 turning point, because this is when students are kind of subconsciously deciding, do I really belong here? And it's also when we, as the educators and leaders, start to feel the strain of keeping that engagement high. So today, we're not so much about the tools, but more about how we show up, for them, and, just as importantly, for ourselves. So let's start with maybe the most powerful tool you have right now, your presence. Seriously, how you make yourself known and felt inside the course right now can change everything, especially for those students who are just starting to drift away.
So what even is teaching presence? Look, it's not about just sending out more announcements or another reminder email. It's about creating a feeling, a sense that a real, live human being is on the other side, and that person is actively noticing and engaging with their individual work. It's what makes the whole thing feel human.
So how do we actually do this? Well, it's all in the small things. It's as simple as using a student's name in your feedback, or saying something like, "Hey, I remember you mentioned you were a marketing major. This part of your analysis really nailed that perspective." Even just a quick, thoughtful follow-up question can work wonders. All these little things signal one huge message: I see you. Your work matters to me.
And here's why that matters so much. For a lot of learners, especially if they're new to the whole college or corporate world, this is the point where they are quietly, inside their own heads, asking, do I really fit in here? Your presence, those tiny signals of recognition, can answer that question for them with a resounding yes before they even have the words to ask it out loud.
Now, this whole idea of presence leads right into a tension that I think we all feel. How do we keep our standards high, maintain rigor, while also supporting learners who are clearly struggling? It feels like you have to pick one, but you really don't.
What learners need from us right now is clarity, not rigidity. They need guidance on how to get better, not for us to just lower the bar. And they need accountability, for sure, but accountability that comes with support, not judgment that just leaves them feeling stuck and alone. You see, you don't have to choose between rigor and support. They can and should go together.
In fact, the absolute best response is to be a bridge for them. It's a statement that does both things at once. It upholds the standard by saying, here's what high-quality work looks like, while also building that bridge with, and here are the steps you can take there. It's accountable, it's compassionate, and it empowers them instead of shaming them.
And hey, if you find yourself in the middle of a lesson and you have to adjust your plan because something just isn't landing, remember this. Pausing or clarifying or giving people a chance to revise, that's not a sign you didn't plan well enough. It's the exact opposite. It's you, the expert, reading the room and responding. That is mastery. This brings us straight to feedback, because at this stage of the game, it is so important to frame our feedback not as a final judgment, but as the start of a conversation about their learning and their thinking. And you do not need to comment on every single little thing. Actually, that can be totally overwhelming. Try this really simple framework instead. Start with 1 or 2 things they did well, let them know you're seeing their strengths. Then follow up with 1 or 2 specific, actionable things they can work on for next time. It's balanced, it's manageable, and it's all about growth. Because let's be real, our goal here isn't just to get them to check off boxes on a to-do list. We're trying to help them learn how to think. Sometimes one really thoughtful question in your feedback can do more than a dozen corrections. It invites them to reflect, and that's where the real learning kicks in. Okay, we've been focusing a lot on the learners. But now, we've got to turn the focus where it absolutely needs to be. On you. Because this midpoint, it isn't just tough for them. It's prime time for instructor burnout to start creeping in.
And this is so important. If you are feeling just drained right now, if your energy is tanking, please hear this. You are not failing. You're not doing anything wrong. It just means you're in the thick of it. It means you are teaching. And that is incredibly demanding work.
So this is the perfect moment for a little personal check-in. Just ask yourself this question. Where might you be overdoing it a bit? Can you reuse some of that great feedback language you wrote last week? Is there a process you can simplify that won't actually hurt the learning? Protecting your own energy isn't selfish, it's essential. Ultimately, it really just comes down to this powerful idea. Sustainable teaching is ethical teaching. When you model professional boundaries, when you take care of your own well-being, you're showing your students what long-term professionalism looks like. You just can't pour from an empty cup. It's as simple as that.
So as we bring all this together, I want to leave you with just one final quiet question. Something to carry with you into your work this week. It's a question that kind of pulls together all of these ideas: presence, support, and your own sustainability.
Just take a second and think about it. Who are the quiet ones in your group? The ones who turn in the work but never ask a question, never pop into office hours, the ones who might just be fading into the background. And then, what is one small, manageable, sustainable thing you can do this week to signal your presence to them? It might just be the most important thing you do all week. Thank you for the incredible care you bring to this work.